Hey, this is Scott Spears, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of The Exchange. After the Groundhog pre-Super Bowl, it is big time here with Matt Morgan and Kerrington Nelson as we head into the Super Bowl on Sunday, and we look back and reflect on Groundhog Day 2024 and the national attention that we got. Matt, memories of Groundhog Day and the national story that it became here at WGH Talk.
So, Groundhog Day, do you want me to just give a rundown?
Well, just people, I think, know what happened, but tell them what your experience was with Groundhog Day. Because it became a national story. We should mention that maybe first of all. You want to read the national story?
Sure.
Go ahead. From the Associated Press last Friday.
A mascot, a pizza, and a former U.S. treasurer. How Ohio is predicting 6 more weeks of winter. By the Associated Press. In Marion, Ohio, birthplace of an American president, Warren G. for Groundhog Harding, a nearly 6-foot-tall, costumed human predicted 6 more weeks of winter using a pizza. Arriving at the studios of WGH in a peanut butter and jelly truck on Friday, Warren was directed by host Scott Spears to pick a slice of groundhog pizza. Each slice had a card underneath reading either 6 more weeks of winter or early spring. Warren was later revealed to be Miss Ohio 2023, Madison Miller. Due to a lack of thumbs, the groundhog had to point rather than pick up the slice. Marion's favorite dignitary, former U.S. Treasurer and native daughter, Marion Withrow, now 93, certified the prediction with her famous signature. Withrow is in the Guinness Book of World Records for having her signature on more U.S. paper currency than any other person.
Your first national story, Matt. What's your reflection on that whole day?
You know, it was another one of those things to where when we were going over everything that we were going to be doing, it didn't seem like it would be a whole bunch, but then we actually got there, and there was a lot happening.
Proclamation from County Commissioner Mark Davis. Chad Clark performed, country recording artist. Mary Ellen was here. Miss Ohio, we found out, was the groundhog. It was a lot of fun.
Always, yeah. I think everything we do here, as far as events-wise, it gets better every time.
And the whole staff was here.
Yeah.
Except a couple people, but, things happen. But the majority of people were here. Linda was here. You two were here. Matt and Kerrington. Sean was here.
Bob was here.
Bob Welsh was here. Pastor Craig was here. It's a lot of fun. Kerrington, thoughts on the national story that Groundhog became? Were the people in your life just boggled? Did it boggle their mind that you'd been a part of a national story?
Yes, yeah. They were like, wow, that's awesome. They definitely didn't expect that to happen. And I think that the story really reflected how the day went. They included all the important details except for the freezing cold that we had to stand out in. But besides that, it was very accurate.
Now, why do you think this became Ohio? Because the headline, by the way, and there's a lot of things going on in Ohio that day. A mascot, a pizza, and a former U.S. treasurer, how Ohio is predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Now, Ohio's official groundhog, Buckeye Chuck, just up the road, said early spring, but that got no press.
I think just because this was something unique, obviously Puxatawny Phil is kind of the main groundhog that everyone's going to look for direction from. So I think that us having a unique weather prediction style really helped get national coverage.
I think so, too.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Well, a lot went into it.
Yeah.
And Madison, I just got to say, Madison Miller, to me, Miss Ohio 2023, I don't care what people say. You can say whatever you want. But that girl, she is a thing. She's going to be something. And I want to be on the record as saying that. She's going to be a thing.
She seems like she'll be successful.
Well, I'm not talking about successful. She might be successful, but I think she's going to be a thing. I think we're going to hear from her. I think she's got an it factor to her that's very important. What do you think, Matt? You could feel it, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think she was one of the more one of the more articulate and well-spoken people that we've had on the show.
And honest.
Yeah,
just absolutely. A generally honest person. I liked her a lot.
Very outspoken.
Yeah, definitely. We got a lot of authentic responses from her, I think.
And your opinion is that, like, if she becomes the manager at Hardee's, she'll be a success.
I mean, I think everyone defines success in their own ways, so I think whatever goal she wants to accomplish, that she'll be able to.
I think we're going to hear from her. That's all I'm saying. I think her goal is going to be big. Because I think certain people have the it factor in life, and not that normal work is not fine. That's fine if she wants to do that. But I think there's something about her that is very unique, and you come across that very rarely, but you know it when you see it.
I mean, I think so. I think in terms of, sorry, for a second there, my head broke. I think in terms of how well, like I said, how outspoken she was and how well she spoke about the things that she was speaking on, I think she's gonna be something based on whatever field she ends up in.
I think we're gonna hear from her. I think we're gonna hear from her very soon. So, thank you, Madison, for being the groundhog. And what a good sport she was in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miss America on January 14th to the groundhog on February 2nd. If that's not an upstep, I don't know what is. To go from Miss America to a real event like groundhog. She did not get national attention at Miss America.
That's all we have to
That's
say.
all I'm saying. Her name wasn't mentioned there. This is where it really gets done. This is where the rubber meets the road, right here at WGH. This is where it all happens. Now, let's get into the topics this week because we've got a very interesting topic. I have heard so much feedback. We did a little bit of this on Friday night show last week, but apparently we didn't do enough on it because I've heard a lot about this on the morning show and from people I've ran into who were listening to the Friday night show. And by the way, tell people about the Friday night show. When's it on and how can they listen?
The Friday night show is on 8:15 to 10 every Friday night. You can listen by going to by downloading the TuneIn app and listening on by searching WGH Talk. It's free. You don't even need an account. You just search it. Or you can go to the website, wwgh1071.com, and you can listen live from there.
Exactly. Every Friday night, 8:15 to 10, and give us a call. Now, the story was love languages. Now, I have, when you start paying attention, you start hearing these things. Today, I heard somebody mentioning love languages. It was a guy talking to another guy about something, and I heard him say, "What is your love language?" People speak in different love languages. Well, if you don't know, love languages, there are 5 of them: words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, quality time, and receiving gifts. Now, new research has shown that this is kind of a bunch of bunk. It's not really a true thing, and that having a love language like somebody else's or talking in love languages doesn't really make a match. Does this shock you?
No. It's kind of like I can't even think of the name. Like, it's kind of like believing in like the astronomical signs.
Astrology.
Yeah, astrology.
Well, I mean,
Why'd you look at me like I didn't know what I was saying?
astrology is astrology not just like the study of the stars, but it's more or less
No, it's like-
astronomy.
That's astronomy.
Okay. Sorry.
Any other A words you want to throw in there? Architecture, maybe? No, but so you think this is like astrological science.
Yeah.
So it's not true.
Yeah, it just sorry, it just seems like
Some days it's easier than others to be a moderator. Some days.
it just seems like it's just one of those things that people believe even though there's no base in anything. I think they just believe it to believe it. Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat. What do you think, Kerrington?
I think you keep presenting this information incorrectly. They're not saying that love languages are real or fake. Like, the study said that you don't have to have the same
Wait
love
a second,
language.
where did you read the study?
I didn't, so I guess I need to
So how can you tell
study.
me what I said is not correct?
Because the way that you're phrasing it doesn't make sense. You're saying that love languages are a bunch of baloney, but also that...
I don't think I said bunk. Thank you very much.
They're a bunch of bunk, whatever the heck that means.
I
And
cleaned it up
that
for television.
is supposed to mean that... You said that the study is saying that
Why are
people
you
that
so
have...
offensive about this whole thing?
Because we had the conversation on Friday night.
You
and
weren't
I
that
felt
offensive
like,
then?
I know, because I was just trying to like be chill about it. I was like, I think he's presenting
So you
it
decide that's out the
incorrectly.
window for television.
Yeah,
Let's just let it rip.
I was like, well, if we're gonna keep going on the subject, I'm gonna get more honest and be like, I just think that you're not presenting it correctly.
Oh, well, do tell. What did I
Okay.
present wrong?
So you're saying that they're a bunch of bunk, but then also that the study is just saying that people with the same love language like doesn't make a perfect match, which I don't think that the love language argument was ever saying that people with the same love language are going to be a perfect match. Like, I think it's just about like knowing your partner better.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Now, here, I think you've misunderstood what I've said.
Okay.
Because what I'm saying is that love languages don't work, and that this is all a bunch of bunk. That
What
people...
are you saying they don't? What do you mean they don't work? What does not work mean?
What are they supposed to do? Let's put it that way. In your understanding of life, what are they supposed to help you with?
Right. So it's like people give and receive love in certain ways. Like,
Right.
oh, I feel loved whenever XYZ happens, right? So I think the love language is just defining, like, if you do these things for your partner, they feel the most loved in receiving things like from this aspect versus like if you're giving them love.
No, but
like,
no,
what they-
everybody's supposed to have a love language that's theirs.
I mean,
No, that's the truth. That's what it was all about.
you
so
take
what
like
I'm saying
you
is,
take like a survey and then it ranks like how strong you are in each category. So
Where's this survey come from?
yeah, exactly. What's that
I don't
all
know,
about?
online.
It's all a bunch of bunk, is what we've come to learn from this. Is that it doesn't work. It's not real, and it was supposed to match you with somebody that you had the same love language, that you would be a
the
match.
survey is not doing that.
Have you taken it?
Yes.
Oh, there's a shock.
Yes, that's not what it does. It
There's
just
my big
tells
surprise
you.
face.
It just tells you what ways make you feel the most love.
But what? Who cares? I mean, why do
it's
we
just
need to know
knowing
that?
about yourself and about your partner. I don't know. Maybe the people in the
How can you
relationship
take
care.
how can you take the love language survey for your partner?
You can't. You take it, and your partner can take it, and you're like, "These are my results," and they're like, "Oh, these are my results," and you talk about it
God, that sounds boring. What is the point of that?
to learn about your partner.
What do you need to know?
To know how to give and receive love.
Why do you feel the need to take an online test to determine how you should...
That's my point. It doesn't work.
Why do you feel the need to take an online test to learn more about your partner?
Yeah, but it
I
doesn't
don't think
work,
you
is what I'm
have
saying.
to.
You
I
just
think
cut out
it's
the middleman.
just optional, I guess, if you want to. I mean, I don't think everybody has a great sense of self-awareness always. So, like, I guess just like psychology tools help people to like learn more about themselves.
No, but what I'm saying, it doesn't work. You can take that survey all day long and like you know somebody, but you don't. That's what doesn't work.
What, like, you know somebody, so you're saying that like the results whenever they tell you that
It doesn't matter.
you feel the most loved whenever this happens, it's
Yeah.
just wrong. It's not true.
Right.
that what you're saying?
Right, because like somebody might like to be told that they're a nice person. Who doesn't want? Who wants to be told you're a jerk? You don't. So everybody's going to have words of affirmation to some degree, but also people like quality time. If you're in a relationship, which is what this is all about, love languages, who doesn't want to spend time with? I don't want to spend time with you? That doesn't make any sense. So the fact that you would have a specific love language and that this is how you're going to cope and make your relationship work, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. I agree kind of whenever I took the survey, like my results were kind of spread across because I was like, I don't know, all of these different things I feel like could make me feel loved, but I feel like it's like with most surveys, it's just trying to rank like, oh, you have scored high in this category versus not so much in another
Right, but how does this
category.
help your partner?
To know about you.
So you have
and
to tell
what
them, this is
makes-
what I want.
I mean, yeah, you can explain that to them. Be like, oh, I took this survey and these were my results.
But see, then isn't that phony? Like, say you
No.
well, I think it is, because
Well,
let's
no.
say... Well, I think it is, because see, if you take the survey, and let's say you come up with receiving gifts as your love language, well, okay, here's how we get along. Give me stuff, is basically what you're saying, more or less. If I can't figure that out on my own, we're doomed.
Yeah, but like receiving gifts doesn't mean you need to start going to the store and like buy a bunch of things. Like it could just be like flowers or like little things. Like it doesn't mean
That's
spend all
stuff.
your money on
That's stuff.
somebody. Yeah, I mean, I guess they like to receive gifts. A note, like that's a gift. Like
Oh, you're stretching now.
I don't think I'm stretching. A card
stretching.
with like a
You're
handwritten
stretching.
note.
A handwritten note, huh?
Yeah, I would be happy
But
with
isn't that a
It
word
would
of
go in
affirmation?
it'd go in my journal.
Where does,
about
now, does that
love.
fall under words of affirmation, or is that a
They're-
gift?
No, I mean, you know, I think they like overlap and stuff. So that's why, like, I agree that like
It's a
I don't
spectrum.
necessarily know that the science behind it is accurate, but I don't think that you're saying that it's baloney because of the bunk because of the fact that if you have
Why are
the
you
same
so
love
touchy
language.
about this whole thing? I don't know
I'm
why
just
you're so
trying
touchy
to-
about the love languages.
Because I just don't think that you're comprehending it correctly.
I think I understand what I read.
I don't know. The way you were phrasing it to me felt like you didn't understand. Like you're like my
No, I
reason,
understand.
my point A to point B like was not a direct correlation there.
That you
to
need
me.
to have similar love languages so you can get along, and we have found out that this is not true. That none of this really means anything. It just basically tells somebody what you want. I could tell you what I want.
Yeah, I don't think that was the point of the love languages. So, like if you have similar ones, you get along.
Yeah, I think it was. Because if I tell you what mine is and you tell me what yours is, then we're going to have a good relationship was the idea, but that's not what happens. All basically I'm doing is telling you what to do to make me happy. That's not love. That's dictatorial.
No, but you like learn about your partner and you want to do things that make them feel more loved.
Figure it out on your own. Do you need to take these surveys and do all this? I think there
I
are
don't
more
think
than
it
5
would
love
hurt.
languages. What's your love language, Matt, out of these 5?
You know, last time I answered this, a lot of people didn't like the
No,
response.
go right ahead.
So
Just throw it out
what if
there.
I
Do it again. Do it again. Because people don't, maybe they didn't hear the episode and know what you said, so
well,
go ahead.
It's probably good then.
Go ahead and tell. Go ahead.
I said touch, but
Touch.
you didn't like that response. So then I
don't mind it.
I had to explain.
I think it's
I had
fine.
to explain the
Listen,
answer.
Matt likes hugs.
If you want
I like yes.
You
I
like
like
to
the
hug
hugs,
people.
and I like
You like
the
the
hands.
hugs.
Big hugger.
he likes the hugs.
Yes. But
Okay.
telling somebody that I don't know, telling somebody that I love them or care, it just I don't know.
But you'll hug them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say nothing.
But what is it you like about the hugs? We didn't get into that.
What is it that I like about hugs?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have to. A lot of times using words is a waste of time, okay? So, like, if I could just let's say I just give my mom a hug. It expresses to my mother that I love her without me saying, Mom, I love you, and then having this whole big dial. It's just a waste of my breath.
I understand. But I don't think that the love languages are for, like, mother or father, or I think that's more of a relationship thing.
My mom asked me about it one time, how I received love.
Oh. Well,
So
maybe.
I think it does.
You know,
I think it's love across the board.
Oh, okay, whatever. I don't think that's how it's meant, but okay, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your proverbial boat, I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me in any way, but I don't think that's what this is all about.
I think that there's other forms of love besides like romantic love. So
Well, of course there are other forms of love except romantic love, but I don't think that's what this is talking about. I don't think you need to ask your parents for words of affirmation or
that's what I told my mom I wanted.
or an act of service.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Mom, I need an act of service from you.
No,
we get that
I told
done.
her that I need words of affirmation. That's what I told her.
But that's your love language.
Yes.
Yeah. Why? You took the survey.
Yeah, I think that it just helps me feel more reassured whenever people are like telling me that they like me. I just like don't believe people like me like consistently. So unless they like continually are like letting me know that they like me, I feel a little like panicked inside.
And that's over physical touch, acts of service, quality time, or receiving gifts.
Yeah, the second one I think would be quality time.
Quality time's a good one.
Yeah.
But you're still sticking with hug, even though it's not mom.
Big hugger.
Well, in terms of not mom, I'd probably say quality time.
Then you're switching.
Well, I mean, I thought we were talking about in terms of just like, love. Like, I love my family. I love a lot of my friends. Like,
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think that's exactly what this is referring to, because I've read what the guy who wrote it said, and I don't think that's what he was going for, but okay.
okay, well, so like I said, if that's not what he was, if he was referring to it in terms of strictly like relationship standards, then probably quality time.
You want to spend time with the person.
I don't see. It's quality over quantity here.
So you don't want to spend time with the person. You just want
Good
the time to be
time.
good.
Good times.
But the good times turn into bad.
Yeah, everything ends.
I just think it's very interesting because I did not go along with this because I think, again, it's a bunch of bunk, much like the survey says here. But what's fascinating to me is people tried to pin a love language on me, and then somebody I know also said that theirs was acts of service, which I still don't even know what that means.
When people do things for you.
Yeah, but do things for you or you do things for them?
Do things for you.
But isn't that the same thing as receiving gifts?
No.
Like what? They come over and
Like,
check my
No.
temperature?
receiving gifts would be like, I buy you things, but like, an act of service would be like,
I cleaned your car for you.
yeah, like cleaning things for you, or like.
So basically, you're
Doing
like
your
you're
laundry.
like the pet.
Yeah, you're more like a you're more like a loved servant.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a little.
Sounds like a poor way to put it, but that's what they want.
I just don't understand because to me, I think you should get to know the person, not necessarily work up some kind of rubric.
Yeah, that's why. Well, yeah.
I
That's
don't
why
know.
quality time. I guess quality time fits. In that whole, you should get to know somebody. You need quality time to get to know somebody.
It's true.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I find that when you get to know somebody, that's when quality turns into quantity, and it's just a little too much. I feel that's just a little long in the tooth at that particular point. But I do have to say, because you brought this up on Friday night, I'm going to clear this up because I didn't answer it on Friday night because I think we went to a break. But there was somebody who for like 2 years brought me breakfast every week. Unexpectedly. I never asked for it. And apparently, when this stopped, I didn't like it. Which is not necessarily true. What I'm saying is that I felt that it was phony because, it stopped. If it was genuine, it should have went on for the rest of my life.
By the way, Kerrington's the one that brought this up.
Oh, you brought it up?
Of course I did.
Oh, did you? Well, I didn't appreciate that anybody brought it up because I did not feel that I thought that was a dig, and I think that's wrong.
I wasn't trying to dig. I just think that sometimes you are quick to judge people on things like.
What are you talking about?
Why does somebody need to buy you breakfast for the rest of your life?
I didn't say they need to buy it for the rest of my life, but to be genuine, why were you doing it in the first place?
Maybe they just wanted to, and then they just didn't want to anymore. Like I don't know. Like why do they need to continually do things? Like why can't we just be thankful for the 2 years of breakfast that we got?
Because I think it was, now that I look
What's
back at
not
it...
genuine about it? They spent their money, they bought you breakfast, and then they stopped.
No, give me a second. Let me get in here. What I'm saying is I think at the time, now that I look back on it, I thought it was genuine. Mm-hmm. But now I think they just wanted something.
And then they just gave up eventually?
Yeah, they gave up. They knew it wasn't happening.
I mean, I guess, but they still did something nice. Who cares?
Yeah, but if there's an ulterior motive, I don't care for it.
Everything that you do that's nice has some sort of ulterior motive.
Absolutely not. Everything that I do that's nice is altruistic.
There's a little bit of ulterior motive.
No.
Yes, even if it's just you want to make the other person feel good. It's oh, I feel good that they feel good, so you feel good about yourself.
I don't think I've ever set out to try to make somebody feel good.
When you're being nice, you don't want to make them feel good?
No, I'm just telling them the truth, whatever they want to know.
Whatever they want to know and the truth are not the same thing.
But I mean, if you ask me a question, if the truth happens to be nice, okay. But I'm not doing that to be nice. I'm just doing that because you asked me the question.
Okay, so then that's just you telling the truth. That's not you being nice.
Right.
Okay.
But I just would never be nice to be nice. I think that's phony.
Being nice just to be nice is phony?
I feel like that's just common courtesy.
No, it's phony.
Being nice for no reason is
no, because
phony?
you just said that all things like that have an ulterior motive. I'm trying to get something or want something or make myself feel good about.
Okay,
that's awful.
Are we talking?
Why is that awful?
Just hello, how are you doing? That kind of thing.
Well, that's not nice, is it?
I mean,
Hey, how's it going today? I want to know how you're doing. That's it.
I mean, it's polite.
No, I want to know how you're doing.
No.
I don't go around asking everybody
no.
that.
If somebody asks,
I don't want to know how you're doing.
If somebody says, "How are you doing today?" They don't want the rundown. They want you to say, "Good."
How are you?
Well, that's
good,
the
how are
question,
you?
isn't it? I didn't say run down your itinerary. I said, how you doing?
Yeah, but you're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I'm not feeling so well
Yeah,
today.
I didn't
and
ask
you're
you-
like, come on,
No, and I said, I hope you feel better. Gotta go.
I hope you feel better. I need you to get out of the line.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry, I'm busy now. Got other things going on.
feel better, goodbye.
That's the truth. Why do we need to be phony?
I don't think that being nice is being phony.
It's just courteous.
If you just said that there's an ulterior motive, that's what I don't like about it. I'm not going to do anything with an ulterior motive.
I just think that that's part of the nature of being nice, though.
That
There's, a little bit of an
ulterior motive. Oh, well, see, then no. I've never sat down and said, I'm going to be nice so I can A, B, or C.
I sit down and think I'm going to be nice, because I want to. It's fun. I think being nice puts me in a better mood. But, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So you're doing it self-will.
Maybe. If that's what that is, since you're being nice is fun, so I want to be nice. I guess it's selfish, but like if I'm in a good mood, it's going to like positively reflect on others whenever I'm communicating with them.
See, but now you're
like,
rationalizing. You're rationalizing being phony with people. And
I don't think I am.
Well, how can you get up in the morning and say I'm going to be nice to people because that's what makes me happy, and you run into somebody who like tears into you that day? You can't control that. You can be nice to them.
I try to.
But you're doing that for you, not for them.
Yeah. Why do I sell? Who cares?
That's self-will. That's the definition of self-will.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, I guess.
No, as long as you're okay with it.
Yeah, no, I can sleep at night knowing this.
Don't you think that's a little selfish, Matt, that you're being nice to people just so you can reap the rewards of it?
I mean, isn't in the Bible, isn't there a whole thing like you reap what you sow?
In the Bible.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
So like you reap what you sow. So like if you're a nice person, you plant, you reap.
Yeah, I just.
But not for ulterior motives.
It's just like
it doesn't say thou shalt have ulterior motives.
No, it's to like create overall kindness.
Where is that in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
Like it's all about just making the world a better, happier place.
Oh, isn't that sunshine and lollipops?
Yes.
No, that's not what happens. You are nice to people who are nice to you, and you're rude to people who are rude to you, or you're indifferent to those people. That you don't do that for yourself or for an ulterior
you try to
motive.
be nice to everybody though. Because
Oh, no. Because you have to be indifferent to some people, because if you're nice to them, they'll think that they can treat you horribly.
I think I've run into this issue.
Shocking.
Oh my gosh.
So now you realize the error of your ways.
That I need to stop being nice.
Well, you don't be nice to be nice.
Oh.
You be nice to because the person's nice to you.
Oh, you're
And
only
then-
reciprocally nice. Okay, so what if you're both
First of all, there's
indifferent?
no such word as reciprocally, whatever you say.
Reciprocally nice?
No, that's not a word, but go ahead.
But you're only nice to those who are nice to you. So what if you're both indifferent toward one another?
No, you don't
just
even have to be.
continue
No,
with your
no.
indifference?
If lots of person's been a jerk to you the day before, you're not going to be nice to them. You might be indifferent.
Oh, but you do start out with being nice to everybody, except for the people that are not nice to you.
I don't know why you wouldn't, but I don't think you do that selfishly. I think you just do that naturally.
Well, yeah, that's just so I'm polite to everybody unless they give me a reason to not be polite.
Except, but you don't do that with it. You don't go in thinking, oh, this is going to make me feel better, so I'm going to be nice to this person.
Common courtesy.
Yeah.
I think mine's a little bit of both. Like
I didn't want to bring this up.
But like also,
I'm sorry I have to bring this up now.
Okay.
I was not going to bring this up, and I said to myself tonight I'm not going to bring this up, but now you've brought me to the point where I'm going to have to bring this up. Because you pushed me and you told me my information was wrong and my facts were all wrong, so now I got to bring this up.
Okay.
Now, today you came in to the workplace.
I did.
Okay. Now, do you remember what you had in your hands?
Starbucks.
Now, how many Starbucks cups did you have in your hands?
My boss pre-ordered them and I picked them up for us, so
Okay.
there were 2.
2.
Yes.
Okay. So she paid for these.
Yes.
And she bought you one.
Yep.
And you brought it to her.
Yes.
Now, have you ever brought her things?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a what? You have a love language based on receiving gifts.
I don't know that that's necessarily what that means.
Matt, is this not what it is? We're under 2 minutes here. Is this not what this is?
I mean, I don't know do you sometimes get them drinks too?
Yeah, we get each other.
But it's
drinks
it's a reciprocal love language of receiving gifts.
Well, I mean, I guess.
And you get along, right?
We do get along.
Matching love languages. Checkmate.
Okay.
I don't know that proved anything.
I think it did. I think I
I bet you do think you did.
Case in point. The verdict's in, folks. I'm right again. Thank you very much.
Shocker, the moderator's right once again.
I'm glad you've caught on to that the moderator is always right. That you should get a t-shirt made.
Yeah, the moderator's always right.
The moderator is always right. So the love languages are a bunch of bunk, and you've never brought me anything at work. I should just mention that.
You never brought me anything at work.
I thought you did things just to be nice.
I do sometimes.
I don't.
Okay,
I don't play that game.
I know. Well, I'm kissing the butts of people that are going to get me drinks too. You know, we're going both ways here.
See, it's all a bunch of bunk. But what isn't a bunch of bunk is that we're going to be back after this short but important break. Be back in a few.
It's heads.
It's heads. It's an early spring.
It's an early spring. We have 2 predictions now.
We have 2 predictions. And of course, our second groundhog, the only person who could flip a coin here to give us a weather prediction is, of course, the 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow. Mary Ellen, so good to have you here as the groundhog.
Yes, it's an honor.
It's fascinating. Now, Matt, we can get the hat off now.
Okay.
Mary Ellen, thank you so much for being the groundhog. Now you're going to join us here for the rest of the program.
All right.
But now, what is it like to be in the groundhog suit? We didn't really get a whole description from Madison earlier.
It's cozy.
Is it?
Very cozy, yeah. And the head is marvelous because I can breathe.
Good.
Yeah.
Hi y'all, my name is Madison Miller. I'm Miss Ohio 2023 and I just finished with the radio show here on Groundhog Day after being the honorary groundhog. We had a blast. It was a very in-depth and insightful conversation. I love being able to hear the perspectives of others and being surrounded by such incredible women in the process was amazing. So great way to start Groundhog Day. Sorry for the 6 weeks of extra winter.
Hey, it's Scott Spears, and it's Groundhog Day here at WGH Talk. We're joined by the 40th President of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, Matt Kerrington, and the whole gang. And our groundhog this year was Miss Ohio 2023, Madison Miller. Madison, what was it like being the groundhog?
It was an incredible honor, and unfortunately we do have more weeks of winter ahead of us, but I'm so grateful to be a part of this.
All right, on the count of three, happy Groundhog Day. 1, 2, 3.
Happy Groundhog Day!
Hey, Scott Spears back with Kerrington Nelson and Matt Morgan. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're at home right now and enjoying this episode, as I'm sure you are, just kick your shoes off, sit there with your socks, enjoy yourself, because that is
We
what goes
sure
on.
are.
That's what goes on in the studio. Why should you be any different watching this wherever you're watching it? So just kick your shoes off and relax.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I bet that is an amen. Here's a subject. Now, this is interesting. There's a big backstory to this, but basically it's two people who got together and they had kids from a previous marriage. Both of them did, so it's kind of like a Brady Bunch setup. But the point is that I believe it was the sister of one of the people complimented one of the children but did not compliment the other in front of the child. So the question is, when you're handing out compliments in general, do you have to compliment both people if they're on equal footing?
I'm confused.
No.
What?
If two people are doing the same things, do you compliment them both? Like if you're at work and let's say two coworkers are there in the same department, can you compliment one and not compliment the other?
Are they both working?
Yeah, right there in front of
Like
you.
efficiently? Like the
No,
same
I don't think
pace?
anybody's the same, no.
Well, I mean, I'd probably, if I was going to compliment somebody and not the other one, I'd probably do it because the one person is like well outworking the other. And be
Yeah,
like,
but do
"Man,
you
you're
do it
doing
in front?
good."
But do you do it in front of them?
Yeah, but I wouldn't like make it. I wouldn't like make it an insult towards the. I wouldn't be like, man, you see them? They're doing bad. You're
I don't. You see,
carrying.
in theory, you like
I'd be
that.
like, you're doing good.
In theory,
Keep
you
up
like
the
that.
work.
In theory, you like that until you're the other person, and everybody hates that. When two people are there and you're doing the same job, and somebody goes over and says, "Wow, you're doing a really good job," and this person's standing right there.
Work harder. Try better.
But that's all subjective. That's in your opinion. So I don't understand this.
I mean, I don't understand how like if somebody says I'm trying my best. I don't know how you. I mean, I guess they probably do think they're trying their best, but like if they can try harder, obviously they're not trying their best because trying your best already means you're trying.
Some people's best is not as good as other people's best.
That's for sure.
So I just
What does that mean?
That's just a true statement.
just
like-
sometimes
Everything
it
I say
happens
is a
like
true
that.
statement. You're just catching on?
Yeah, well, I went into
Sometimes
amen
people-
where the amen was due. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
We're going back to the Bible.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Big
people are
Bible
just slow.
episode.
Huh?
Sometimes people just don't work
So,
that fast.
what was your opinion on this?
I think you can compliment people. I don't think like,
Not in front of others. I think that's wrong.
No, because I think if you're in like a group of people and one person you like their hair, I don't think it's wrong to be like, "Oh, your hair looks really good today" or something. Like
I don't
to
think
give a
that-
specific compliment to somebody.
Oh, I no, because I'm telling you what. If you have two kids and you say, "Oh, your hair looks nice," this kid heard you, and they're going to think, "Well, what the heck do I look like?"
I mean, I guess
You're
if you really
instilling
care that much,
insecurities in people.
you could compliment the kid on something else.
You're having kids grow up
Like,
that are going to
"Oh."
need words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So would you rather me lie to the kid who doesn't have the good looking hair or whatever?
No, I don't think you should
Don't
start the
lie.
compliments to begin with. You should be self-aware that there's another kid standing there, and if you want to make this compliment, you do it when they're not standing there.
Why?
Because you're going to give them a complex.
I think sometimes you gotta learn that life's just not fair.
That's all well and good when you are not that person, but when you become that person, it does hurt your
mean-
feelings.
I'm sure everybody's probably been both of those people.
If I sat here with the two of you right now, and I said something overly nice about you, and just moved on by, and just kept on going,
I'd be like,
you
it's
wouldn't
a
like
Wednesday.
it. No, you wouldn't like it. You would not like it.
I'd say it's Wednesday.
And tell the truth. Tell the truth. You would not like it.
No, I probably wouldn't like it.
But yet you're telling me that's what I should do.
Yeah, because if that's how you genuinely feel, like if you want to compliment the other person, I don't think you should have to hold back your compliments.
No, I just
to
shouldn't
share
say
the
in
feelings
front
with
of you
another.
because why shouldn't I wait for you to leave and
What if
then
it's like-
say it
what
and
if
then
it's
I'm
like
in
you run into them? So like you're walking down the street, two families cross. Like the one sees the other person and then they're like, "Oh, I like this," and then you just keep going. Like there's no moment for you to get alone to like say your specific compliment. Like you have to wait to be in an alone
If
setting.
it's a sporadic compliment like that, I doubt it's all that meaningful. I'm talking about being in a room with somebody and saying, "Hey, you're great," and the other person standing and just keep on walking.
I think that happens, and like yeah, it sucks. Maybe
That's a diss.
Hopefully it motivates you to work better.
No, I don't think it does. I think it motivates you to dislike that person. Say, well, what a piece of garbage they are.
Well, I feel like if you're already to the
Because it's all
diss
subjective.
compliment level,
It's all subjective. If I like you as a human being, I'm more subjective to give you a compliment than somebody I have no relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem.
You see,
Why?
but here's the thing. So like, so say I was working working somewhere with my best friend, right? And then I was also working with this person that I
Right.
hardly knew. Probably
Right.
knew the name of him because obviously we worked together.
Right?
But then my friend is quite obviously being outworked by this person who I only know the name of. I'd probably walk up to this person who I only really know the name of and be like, "Hey man, you're doing great." And then I would just,
But why
man
do
who's my
that?
best friend.
What is the point?
Because the man who's obviously, because like when people work hard, you want to you want to make them feel appreciated because it'll like give like it'll set like a pattern in your brain to make you want to work hard because it's like one of those reward pathways in the brain.
That's true.
So would you make fun of somebody in front of somebody else?
No, because that.
But that's true as well. I mean, that's honesty. You really think that about them.
I mean, I think at some point you probably do have to say, I think you do like you shouldn't like be like you're slow, you're bad, like you need to go somewhere else. Like,
But that's what you're saying.
you could give
That's what-
constructive criticism.
But that's
hey,
what
I
you're-
noticed you did this. I think it would be faster if you tried this.
But that's what you're saying, essentially. If you're two people and they're doing the exact same job here, and you say to one,
But they're not
"Hey,
doing the exact same job. They might be doing the same thing, but one's working faster than the other one. Therefore,
Right.
the other one, the one who's working faster, deserves the praise over the one who's working slow.
Are we keeping you up?"
yeah,
I'm sorry
really
to hear that this
tired.
episode is keeping you up. But anyway, the point is that you cannot do that because essentially you are telling the other person you're not good enough.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's subliminal, but that's what you're doing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's subliminal. I think you're allowed to give compliments if you want to. Like if the other person gets butthurt over it, like that's their problem.
Yeah, but you say, and then they come and they want to. Why did you do that? And what? Blah, 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 blah. And why? What am I doing something wrong? Da 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 da.
Well,
And then you get into a whole thing.
That's fine. And then you have your conversation and you move on.
But then you just learn. Listen, treat everybody the same, and then you don't have to worry about that.
that's true. If that's your takeaway.
That's what I
In
take
your
away from
28
that.
years of life. You
In my
learn
28
more-
years of life,
you
that's
learn
what I
more
have
than
learned.
us.
Well, 28 years is a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Compliment everybody. And if you can't compliment everybody, then don't.
Don't compliment everybody.
No, don't. Pull the person aside.
No.
Yeah. It does. What's the difference between pulling a person aside and doing it in front of somebody else? What's the difference? You're still giving them the compliment.
The difference is if I was going to compliment somebody for working like efficiently or working well, why would I pull them away from the job that they're efficiently doing to say, "Hey, you're doing great," and then just tell them to go back to work?
Why do you have to tell them that moment? Do you have some kind of dementia? You're not going to remember it later on in the day?
I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I know like 3 hours ago you were filling X, but you were doing great, so keep
Yeah,
up
well,
the
you
good
don't have to
work."
be specific about it. You say, "Hey, you're doing a great job." Just want to let you know that. I do that all the time with people, and nobody does that. I pull people aside and say, "Hey, I want you to know you're doing a really good job." But I don't do it in front of other people because I think that's a downer.
I would disagree.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree, as the Bible says. All right, now, on to the next topic. Britain's King Charles has cancer.
Oh, I thought it's going to be about Trisha and the baby.
Who's Trisha and the baby? What's this?
Sorry. This is...
Go ahead. No, wait, what do you got here?
Oh, okay. So last time Queen Elizabeth died, right?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago.
Breaking news. 2 years, the lady's been dead.
2 years ago that she dies.
Yeah.
And there's this famous person, and her name's Trisha, I don't know her last name, Paeta? It's not Peta, but...
Paeta.
Paeta.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
Trisha Payeta, okay? She has her baby, and her baby happens to be born right when Queen Elizabeth is dying, right? Guess what? King Charles has cancer, Trisha's having another baby. All I'm saying is that if Trisha Payeta does have the reincarnated children of the British royals, that King Charles should be worried.
He's not dead.
I know, but I just didn't know if that's where this was going.
So how is this lady going to prove that they are the reincarnated?
She's not going to prove anything, but like, if coincidentally
What,
the
did the baby
cancer
come?
gets him right around the time Trisha has her next baby, it's going to seem really coincidental.
If coincidentally,
She's got 9 months, right?
Yeah,
cancer gets them.
if cancer gets him.
In the next 9 months.
In 9 months, like when she's having her baby. Like the first baby, it was like like Queen Elizabeth
This is
dies.
not where I was going with
Trisha
at all.
Payeta.
Not where I was going at all with this story.
I was just trying to read the room.
There's no
wrong.
Trisha Payeta in my notes at all.
Okay.
At all.
Well, I wanted to address that because I am calling it now if that does happen.
King Charles has cancer. We're sorry to hear that.
Yes.
But his son, who he's had a rift with, Harry, who lives in the United States.
That's the redhead, right? Meghan Markle? I'm
Yeah.
just confirming.
You really should come to rehearsal and learn these things.
I know.
But anyway, yes, Meghan Markle's husband, Prince Harry, has had a rift with his father. But when he heard that he has cancer, he's rushing back home to be with him during this time. And he's also got a rift with his brother, allegedly, too, Prince William, who will be king. So, does illness and should illness bring a family together? Do you think it will here, and can it in general? I've seen that work. People will come be in the same room who would never be in the same room when somebody's sick.
I think so. I think that
And should you rally together for somebody who's sick? Your father here.
I mean, I think so. I think at the end of the day, you could always go back to disliking each other once it's all said and done.
No, but does it heal the rift? That's the point.
Oh, does it heal the rift?
I think it'll heal the rift with the father. The brother, I don't know, hopefully.
I don't know that it would heal the rift with people. I mean, I think that could, like, bring people together. Like, they could be in the same room together. Like, you could get people to be in the same room who wouldn't usually be in the same room.
When people find out you're sick, it's interesting. I have found in watching others that when people find out that you're sick, that they will call you when they wouldn't. They'll check up on you. They'll express things to you that normally they wouldn't. Now, maybe they think you're dying. I really don't know. But they will. They'll do that sort of thing. So I think it can heal rifts. Or you find out things you didn't know heretofore.
I mean, I guess it depends on how bad a rift is. I mean, I would say that if it's something, I don't know, mediocre minor or something like that, it probably would heal it. I mean, I think that you wouldn't stay mad at somebody. Like, I mean, like, I would have hoped that you guys get over your differences to help, I guess in this case, your dad.
I would hope. But I think he's got the rift with the father as well. This is not just with the brother.
Well,
I think he's also got a rift with his father.
I mean, I think the rift with his father was immediately starting to be repaired when he immediately flew back when he heard his dad had got cancer.
It's an interesting story. What do you think?
This really wasn't going to be about Trisha at all, was it?
No. So you really kind of took us off track there for a second, but that's okay.
I'm sorry about that. I think that it absolutely can. I feel like whenever I am like upset and angry at people in certain situations, I always like to think about if like something bad were to happen to them. I'm like, oh, like me being angry and my like pent up feelings like would totally dissolve if, you know, something like terrible happened, like if this person like passed away. So like I think about like illness and like sick times as a way to like be like, you know, I don't want to like hold pent up anger and resentment towards people because like life's too short to be angry.
I don't know. I see. To me, there's a little phoniness in that. I don't want somebody to be nice to me because I'm ill, and I'm not going to be nice to somebody because they're ill. If we don't like each other.
No, not because of it. And my thing I was talking about is just like if like you know you have a fight with somebody you care about. It's like, is this fight like worth it if something bad were to happen to this person like right now, and this is like your last interaction with them? It's like whatever petty drama is going on, if it's smaller than like them dying and you not getting to resolve this issue, then like I just get over it. Like,
but it always could be your last
hopefully you can work it
interaction
out.
with somebody, whether they're sick or not.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I, even like if they're not sick, like I use this in my life with my friends, with my family. Like I think about it a lot.
You know, it's interesting that a lot of people hug because they always feel it could be the last time. You know, I need to show you that I care, or tell you I love you, or give you a hug, because it could be it. You'll notice when people get older, that happens as well. Like if a mother is older, they'll all of a sudden the child will start to hug them and say they love them every time they leave the room, because it could be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Actually, I'm not going to tell this story. Go ahead.
Well, now you've led down the path.
I know. Okay, I just like, I see my grandparents and I always like to take pictures with them more because I always have like the the thought where I'm like, oh, like what if we don't get to take pictures
But
together?
it doesn't mean
again?
they're gonna die anytime
No,
soon.
I
It just
know. I know.
So I don't think that's a
just,
bad
like,
story.
Knock on wood. Like I don't
That's
want
not a
anything
bad
bad to
story.
happen. No, I know, but like I just like this Christmas, I know like I have a picture with my grandpa that we took because I was like, that's what was like motivating me kind of. Where I'm like, oh, like I would want to like have these photo memories.
You know, I never thought about it because I didn't want to think about that. I didn't want to think that would be the last time, so I never did that.
I think I always just kind of figured, for the most part, that I didn't have to tell people that I loved them because the people that I loved would kind of just assume or know that I loved them.
Nobody ever really knows. See, that's a big mistake people make in life, not telling somebody how they feel. And that's why you never know. You never fully know. You might think you know. Like, let's say somebody brings you lunch for 2 years, breakfast. Okay, for 2 years, they show up once a week for breakfast. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, one day, the breakfast stop. Mm-hmm. Now, you think, hey, maybe they thought you were a nice guy. And then turns out, it was all kind of phony baloney. It was bunk.
2 years of breakfast?
Yeah.
Once
a
they
week.
were
Once a
done.
week.
They were just done with it. That's 104
It was
breakfasts.
motivated. It was motivated.
104
It was motivated.
breakfasts.
And that just tells you what kind of psychotic person that person
Yeah,
is.
what a jerk. They only gave you breakfast 104
No,
times.
they should have never done it.
They're so fake.
They should have never
They're
done
the
it.
worst.
They should have never done it.
Never do nice things.
Not if you're going to turn it off.
Never do nice things unless you're going to do them for the rest of your life.
Not consistently like that. I mean, come on. If I bring you breakfast once, okay.
Okay.
Every week, same day, for 2 years? That's a little psychotic. I mean...
Did you, like, date it out? Was it exactly 2 years, or...?
It was a little over 2 years, matter of fact, but
Wow.
you know what? I did not appreciate it.
The end of the breakfast. I bet you didn't. I wouldn't either.
No, not the end. I didn't appreciate looking back on it and saying, hey, oh, you only did that when you thought that things were going somewhere, and now you know they're not?
Oh, they were trying to win you over.
Yes,
this was
that's
a
what...
romantic thing.
Well, I don't know. I can't say for sure.
They tried for 2 years to win you over with breakfast?
Well, you don't realize the catch that I am.
Oh my gosh. And he didn't crack at all?
No, I did not. And people always found that hard to believe, too, because this person was around a lot.
Wow.
And I hope they don't watch this, by the way. But the point is that they were around a lot, and they did. They continuously tried to win me over by doing things like that. Like on my birthday, they would do all kinds of special stuff, and they were just...
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though, because
but it was an ulterior motive.
No, but if after 2 years you showed no signs of interest, like your relationship
I don't think I showed signs of interest in 2 years or prior.
Okay,
I don't think there ever was a sign of interest.
So they wanted you to like be a closer part of their life. They wanted to do nice things for you, to get to know you more, to connect with you, and you said, no, I'm okay, and you just kept them at an arm's length. I can see why they stopped. 2.5 years. 2 years is a long time to give breakfast to somebody that does not reciprocate their feelings for you.
No, you should never do that.
Buy somebody the breakfast?
To get something.
But like they wanted to like get to know you more. Like maybe they wanted a relationship with you.
No. They weren't getting other people breakfast. They were trying to get somewhere that it didn't get. But you know, that serves them right. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I think that
If you stop doing nice things, I mean, listen, every other week it could have turned into, okay, I'd have bought that.
Could have just gradually decreased.
Yeah, I think a nice gradual decrease.
You're like, yearly
Listen,
breakfast.
when you land a plane, you don't crash it. You bring it in for a nice, smooth landing.
I mean, I think that like, I don't know. I think like the person should have probably done it like
Altruistically.
sporadically.
Yes. It was
I don't.
very...
I think that if you're gonna do it for every week,
Same day.
same day for 2 years,
And never
in a row,
announce it.
You've done made
Never
it a
announce it.
routine.
Yes, you have done something. You are trying to get somewhere subliminally. And they would show up. The food would be there before I would get there. And they would be gone. And there always was a note. There always was a note. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, there was.
I'm just saying, they were really trying to win you over and get to know you, and you pushed them away. I would have been upset too.
Well, they should have stopped.
They should have stopped earlier.
They took 2 years.
They tried so long. They were like, eventually he's gonna realize that I'm like a good person and that I'm nice.
I didn't say they were a bad person. They just weren't up my alley.
Yeah, and then it took 2 years for them to figure that out. That's crazy.
I'm surprised they did it for 2
For
years.
2 years, that's crazy. They wanted you so
Why
bad.
are you clapping this person and saying this is a good thing?
2
this
years of free breakfast?
This is diabolical.
Oh, no.
That's so nice.
I'm just.
If anybody wants to buy me free breakfast for the next 2 years, I'll take it.
This should tell you
and
something.
I won't trash talk you afterwards.
I'm not trash talking
It's like a
anybody.
subscription service you didn't have to pay for.
I'm not trash talking
You
anybody.
subscribe for free
I'm
weekly
not trash
breakfast.
talking anybody. I'm just saying that I think that was so wrong.
So wrong. You just got free food.
Yeah, but I'm not selfish like that. I mean, I thought that was diabolical. I thought the person was doing that to be nice. Come to find out, you know, when they got turned out, they didn't like that.
Luring them into a trap.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
So you're all for that, huh?
I'm all for it.
I think if
I'll
it
appreciate
Shallow.
I think if
I'll
it,
appreciate breakfast.
I think if it would have gotten to where the other person wanted it to go, eventually the breakfast would have stopped anyways.
You know what I've come to find out? This will sound really bad coming out of my own mouth, but since we're on this story and I'm sounding bad anyway, I might as well bring it up. The point is that with me, once somebody spends like a quality time, like alone time, and I've always said this, in a group, I'm not saying I'm a different person, but it's a different situation. And when you're alone with somebody, I think people get somewhat addicted to that behavior and that lifestyle, so they want to become a part of it constantly. But it doesn't happen until you're alone together. And then you get 2 years of breakfasts. And, it doesn't mean that you're going to be accepted, but that's what happens. It's just, sorry.
It is what it is.
Move on to second place, I guess.
Yeah. Go get the sloppy seconds.
Yeah, because this ain't happening. But the point, here's another point. Shaquille O'Neal was recently...
This is a new story. This is not a point.
Well, what else do I have to say about that? I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I'm telling you what happened.
Watch your back, King Charles. That's what we have to say.
King Charles,
Trisha's coming for you.
We'll pick on that. I don't even know.
Trisha's coming for you.
Shaquille O'Neal on a podcast has said, never open up to women.
Oh,
They will
wow.
throw it back in your face.
Oh
You
my
can open up to
gosh.
other... He did. Shaq said that.
Who hurt Shaq? He's so large. Who hurt him?
No, I think what he's saying... I have to agree with what the man's saying. What do you think?
I think so.
There you go.
That's stereotyping women, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, I'm sorry you don't appreciate it. I'll buy you breakfast.
For the next 2 years.
For the next 2 years, I'll show up with breakfast every Tuesday.
Okay, just make sure there's a note and you're gone, though.
Oh, yeah. It was the perfect setup now that I think about it.
I like a quiet,
There was
alone
no-
breakfast.
God, you're a nasty person. You know,
I'm kidding.
you would
I'm
be lucky if I'd
kidding.
have breakfast with you for 2 years.
I'm kidding.
I mean, honest to God.
Yeah, no, I would be.
You'd be lucky.
And you'd be lucky if I had breakfast for. We'd be lucky if we had breakfast together for 2 years. We would be.
Why
lucky.
couldn't we have breakfast together once a week for 2 years? Do you have
Once
some
a
kind of
week?
disease?
Once a week? That's a big commitment.
What the heck does that mean?
That's just a big commitment.
I'd have breakfast with you once a week, Matt, for a year.
2 years. He said a year. He said 2 years is a big
2 years.
commitment.
No, I would do that. You want to know why? Because I've always liked you better. And I think you're a nice person, and I think you care and you're considerate and have...
Oh, look at those compliments right in front of another person.
Exactly
like
right.
that.
Well, you catch on real quick.
Oh, I do. Nothing gets past
That's a
me.
horrible thing to say. That we could not have breakfast once a week?
That's just a big commitment.
What else do you got to do?
I work. I gotta sleep.
I gotta sleep.
Forget it.
Do you want to have breakfast?
Not really.
Okay, I don't either.
I don't
so-
find you to be very nice.
I don't find you to be very nice either. We don't
If
agree
I
on-
invited
we
you
don't
to
agree
breakfast,
on
you
very
would go to
much.
breakfast. If I invited you to breakfast, you would show up for breakfast.
Yeah, if you were saying, it's on me.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
You just gotta
I
buy.
would go. I
You
would
see what's
go.
all here? You see what's all here, don't you?
I'm kidding. I would go.
You see, people
I
aren't gonna
would
like
go.
you.
Please like me.
Your words of affirmation. Maybe this is why you don't get those words of affirmation.
This is why I'm so desperate for the words of
Because
affirmation.
you're a pain in the keister. Shaq says
O'Neal.
never open up to women. They will throw it in your face. Never open up to women and tell them personal stories about your life. They'll throw it in your face.
Don't tell them that you got free breakfast for 2 years and that the person's the worst. I'm sorry, that just doesn't make
I
any
did not.
sense to
Whoa!
me.
Did I say they were the worst? Now you're putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
You said it's phony and that.
I
that
said it
wasn't-
was phony.
It wasn't
They-
nice.
This gets so dysfunctional. Matt, what do you think about what Shaq said?
Whoa!
I care what your opinion is.
He's a little aggressive right now. We're gonna need you to. let's bring it back down.
I hope the new girl is nicer than this one. That's all I hope.
I hope
think-
so too.
I think that Shaq's probably right. I think that there are a lot of instances in which there are you can get on the internet and find like a million stories in which like a man will tell this big like trauma dump story to like his girlfriend, and then all of a sudden they're in this big argument, and then she'll just flip it and then throw it back.
Throw
at
it right back in your face. Absolutely. Men don't do that.
It's like Total War.
No, I disagree. I don't think that that's
I bet
true
you
of
would.
women. I would. You're right. I have to define women here. So, no, I don't think that that's true. And I think that's an overgeneralization to say that that happens all the time.
I've told this story before, but it is the God's honest truth. If you are married or in a relationship with somebody, it can be something very small, like, oh, you didn't put the towels in the dryer. And you don't do it, and nothing will happen that day. 3 years later, you'll be in bed, 3 o'clock in the morning, and she will wake you up and say, do you remember that time you didn't put the towels in the dryer? That's why we don't get along.
It's
will
not
come back
about
and
the
get
towels.
you.
It's what the towels represent. It's you not listening.
What'd you say?
It's not about the towels. It's what the towels represent. It's
You know,
about you not listening.
I think the
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the part he brought up here, the reason he brought it up is because they like he said like 3 months later, they just wait.
They do. They
And
hold it in.
They
hold
it's like
building-
they write it down in a journal
building
somewhere so they
ammunition.
can pull it up later.
Yep.
It's just like they're like, how many times are they going to not listen? How many times? It's like you can let it slide, like that's fine. And like, but like whenever
Let
it just
it go, though.
whenever it continually
Let it
happens,
go.
it's like, oh my gosh, like
Let it go.
yeah,
Just let it go.
Just care about what she says.
She didn't say anything at that point. She brings it up 6 months later.
She asked you about the towels thing, and I promised it was not just the towels. Other things have happened since the towels.
Well, don't tell me about the towels. I've forgotten about the
You see,
towels at that point.
But like the issue is like it'll be an argument that has nothing to do
with what's going on at
the
3 o'clock
towels.
in the morning.
And then all of a sudden, she just feels the need to be like, oh, and just to throw on the top of all this, you remember when?
Let's make it worse. Let's talk. By the way, I haven't
It's
liked you for
not
6
about
months.
the towels. It's
Ever
not
since
what
you didn't
the
put those towels in the dryer.
represent, because it's not about the not listening.
Yeah, but why you got to bring that up?
It's just an example to solidify your point, I would say.
Who cares? Make your
Hopefully
point.
your partner.
Not really.
Okay.
No, I'll tell you, when that's going on at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what you're saying? How do I get my towels in a bag and get the heck out of here? This girl is nuts.
You would say that too.
I certainly would.
I mean,
Even if there was breakfast for 2 years.
I think that's understandable.
Breakfast
you know,
for
I
2
think,
years means nothing to him.
No, because it's ulterior motives.
It's
and
all
it's
fake.
It's diabolic.
I think that if I was with somebody,
Girl was
and they
psychotic.
if somebody just was just throwing things back at your face that you had told them previously, like 4 or 5 months down the line, I feel like there's a problem there. You might just want to ditch them.
I certainly would.
I think that's understandable. You know, I think
I mean,
if I was with somebody and they just
I Yeah, I think so. I think that brings up an animus in you toward that person. I don't think, people are naive. They don't realize that an animus is building up over time. They kind of naive to that. They don't realize that they're doing things to tick you off little by little by little by little by little, and then it explodes and they're like, what happened?
I mean, okay, it's obviously like on the fault of the person that's bringing it up 6 months later to like try to express your feelings, but I guess if you just like tried to express that several times and you felt like you had been unheard, then like it eventually probably just boils down and they're like, what about the towels?
You know what this episode boils down to? An ending. Go ahead, spit quick. We're at a minute. Go ahead.
This kind of reminds me of that topic we did where the one dude got the security cameras to show his girlfriend that he was in fact doing the laundry.
Exactly. He had to throw it back in her face. Lady, I was doing the laundry whether you like it or
he
not.
threw it back in her face.
Yeah, but this time he came
And
back.
that's the perfect ending to this story.
And as we come to a close on this masterpiece theater, this Alistair Cook masterpiece, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, as you do each and every week, and catch it on YouTube. Catch the old episodes. We've got episodes with Buckeye Guy, Mary Ellen Withrow, a whole host of people, Ted Williams. It's always fun here with Matt and Kerrington, and we hope you come back next week and pay attention to Friday nights on WGH Talk. This is Scott Spears for this week, heading for the dugout.